Hello, friends. My name is Garnet, and I'm glad that you decided to join me on the making of this three-dimensional hat. It's a one-row repeat, and as we do go up, it does decrease, but the repeat is still the same. I feel that it'll be very warm for you this coming winter. You'll notice that I have a ribbing right here, which you can fold up to wear as you please. If you bring it down, it will cover your ears. So, come join me in the making of this dimensional hat. As it does go, I had to take some of the yarn out. It goes with the dimensional scarf that I made with the stitch along in a previous video. Come join me, let's get started. The materials and the tools we will be using to make this hat with the three-dimensional design is by Big Twist in the color Passion Flower. It says it's a 4-weight yarn, but when you really look at it, it's kind of more of a 5-weight yarn. I like the color. It's a nice purplish color. The hook we're going to be using is a size G, 6, 4.00 millimeter, and a pair of scissors. We will also be using stitch markers in the making of this hat. Before we begin, I encourage you to pull out an ample amount of yarn from the center of your skein to make it easier for when making our chain stitches to begin with. So let's start with a short tail, about 5 or 6 inches, and place a slip knot on our hook. The multiples in this particular pattern is 4. I'm beginning with a chain of 72 because we're going to be starting from the bottom and work our way up. I encourage you to make your chains loose for this first row. Whoops, I pulled the wrong one. That way your chain will not be tight around your head when you wear it. So let's begin with a chain of 72 and see how it fits around your head. So here I have my chain of 72, and how I'd like for you to try it on around your head. Take your last chain, stretch it out just a little bit, and then pinch it. Okay, take it around your head as you would normally wear it, and see how it fits. You want it to be just a little loose because of the stitching we're going to put in is going to be a ribbing on the first row. So 72 fits my head fine, as well it does the styrofoam mannequin head. All right, so try that. If you need to make it smaller, you need to subtract 4 stitches. If you need to make it larger, you need to add 4 stitches. So after we've adjusted our chain, the first loop back to the normal size, follow our chain to make sure it does not twist. And then place your hook into the very first chain, and we're going to close it with a slip stitch. Chain 3, okay. Then using the bumps on the back of the chain so that we have this nice chain finish, we're going to be placing 1 double crochet all the way around on our chain. So to do a double crochet, finger on loop, yarn over, take the hook and go through that bump, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And then we're going to continue on with each of the bump, the back part of the chain, around. Do count the chain 3 as 1 single crochet, one double crochet. So when you get to the end of this row, this one should be number 71 or 72, as this one is considered number 1 in the double crochet. So go ahead and do that all the way around. I'll meet you at the end of the row. So here we are at the end of the row, and I want to remind you one more time, remember to count your chain 3 as the first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, count all the way around. Your last one double crochet right here should be number 72. So to complete this row, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, and then chain 3 again. Now before we move on, I'm going to encourage you to place this on your head in the same place that you measured it and check and see how it is. It should be just a tiny bit bigger than what you really need, because when we start putting the ribbing for the next couple of rows, it will cause it to pull in just a little bit. So double check your size, and then let's move on to our next row. So to begin our ribbing row, we've already have our first chain 3, so that's going to be counting as our first one here. Our second one will be a front post double crochet. So we have 2 basically front post double crochets. Our next 2 will be back post double crochets. So we're going to insert our needle from behind and go over that 1 post, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. Let's do that again. All right, so you can see how that's going to create a different look in the front than this one right here is. So let's do 2 front post. So we're going to go from the front underneath the next double crochet, pull up a loop, here's 1, and here's 2. Okay, you can kind of see our design starting to emerge already. Let's do 2 back. So we're going to continue the 2 front and 2 back all the way around till you get to the chain 3, and I'll meet you there. Here we are at the end of the row. Now if you try it on, you'll find it fits a little snugger, or snuggles, snuggly, whatever. It fits better, okay? So what we're going to do now is count to the top of that chain 3 and slip stitch, and we're going to do the same thing for 2 or 3 more rows. That's going to be of your preference. So here we have 1, 2, so if we do 2 more rows, that'll be 4. If you want to do 5, so you can fold it up, that's up to you. So let me show you what our repeat is going to be. Let's chain 3, into our first one, front post double crochet, into our next two, back post double crochet. And this is how each row will begin. As we build up here. So this is a ribbed band. If you choose to make it wide enough, you can fold it up. That'll give you a little bit of extra room. Also give you a little bit of length to cover your ears if you so choose. But remember, our pattern that is coming, you can make that longer or shorter. The choice is up to you. So let's do this a couple of more rows. You decide on if you want a total of 5 rows or 4 rows, and I will meet you in a few minutes. Please pause your video. I completed 4 rows of ribbing, so let's go ahead and start our pattern. I've already slip stitched to close the row off. Let's chain 3, and this will be our repeated pattern for this particular row. So in the same space where you slip stitch to close, right there, we're going to place 3 double crochet. All in that same stitch. This will begin the 3-dimensional look for our row. After we've completed that, we're going to skip 1, 2, 3. So at the beginning of this particular front post double crochet on your right hand side of the 2, we're going to place a single crochet. That'll cause everything to drop to the left. Chain 3. In that same space with the single crochet, 3 double crochet. Now I want to point out something to you as I do my double crochets. You'll notice that I pinch the bottom. What I'm doing is allowing the tension to remain the same. Also, it helps for me to hold my work and make it so that I can keep the tension and the stitch length all at the same height. Just some little tips that I offer on how I do my crochet. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and in that 4th one, you see where it's beginning right here, single crochet. You notice that when I pulled it over, I tightened this up so that our single crochet is a little bit tighter than our regular tension. That'll help pull this over and not stretch it out of shape. We're not going to be using it, but we want it to be where everything is pulled over. Then chain 3, and in that same space, 3 double crochet. All right, see how we're starting to get a little zigzag look? The next row will definitely show the dimensional look. Skip 3 on that first right hand side front post double crochet, single crochet. So pick up your loop, tighten your tension, pull it through. Chain 3 and 3 double crochets. Continue around till you get to this last one, and then I'll show you how to finish our row and move on to our second row. So how did you do? I hope you did well. After we've completed our last section here, we're going to single crochet into that same hole that has all those double crochets and that slip stitch from the beginning of the row. So let's go ahead and place a single crochet into that same space, kind of stretching the size of the single crochet so it'll fit over all of the stitching that's right here. And that completes row 1. So let's start up for row 2, chain 3. Okay. The chain 3 at the beginning of the row, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Okay, now enlarge your loop and you can remove your hook. Take your stitch marker and go ahead and mark that chain 3. That'll let you know that was the beginning of and the ending of the row. Okay, so let's turn our work. Now into this chain 3 that we have our stitch marker on. Sorry, I was out of camera range. Place a single crochet and chain 3. Okay, you notice how I turned my work and then place that single crochet in there. We're going to go ahead and slide the stitch marker down because we want it on that chain 3. So in this chain 3, we're going to add 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Well, you know, the more I look at it, let's go ahead and replace that. Yes, I make mistakes too. In that first chain 3 here at the end of your row, let's go ahead and place our stitch marker in there. Sorry about the inconvenience. Please don't hate me. All right. So now we're going to do something a little bit different. Here we have 3 double crochets right here. So you got the back side, you got 1, 2, and 3. Now on that third one, we're going to do a front post single crochet. So insert your hook, go under that third double crochet, and do a front post single crochet. You're going to find with it pulling that stitch back, it's going to give us the dimensional look. Okay, let's chain 3. Are bells and whistles going off now? I think they are. If you did my stitch along where I showed you how to make a scarf, you see here I had a lot of fun putting this together. This is the dimensional look that we're going to have on this hat. Okay, so let's get back to this. We've chained 3. Now on the chain 3 from the previous row, 3 double crochet. So what we did in the very first row was just basically the foundation starting of our pattern. So after that 3, we want a single crochet, so skip 2, and in that third one, front post single crochet. Chain 3. 3 double crochets in the chain 3 behind it. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. I'm finding how really relaxing and enjoyable this stitch is. If you did the stitch along and the flat version pattern, it was so simple and so fun and so relaxing. And it's portable. I was able to take it with me to work and work on it at lunchtime, as well as before my shift started. For many of you who don't know, I work in the shipyard industry as a pipe fitter. Yes, crocheting people do pipe fitting. I also have a motorcycle I love to ride. All right, you can see that I am continuing on. So I'm going to encourage you to continue on and finish all the way around till we get to the stitch marker, and I'll show you how to finish the row and turn so that we can do this for a number of rows to fit our head. So how did that row go for you? I hope it went easily enough. So we're going to complete the second row here. So here we have 1, 2, 3, and then our chain 3. So let's count over to that third one and place our front post single crochet. Now this is a little bit different than the way we finished the other row, but it's still the same idea. Remember how we finished here? Now we're finishing into the double crochet. And this will be the same for all the rest of our rows here. Now we're going to chain 3. And then let's remove our stitch marker. And slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Okay, let's turn our work. All right, now into this chain 3, single crochet, and then chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And as before, let's go ahead and place our stitch marker around that chain 3. And then into the chain 3 that we just created. Here's another one here, but we want this one right here. Let's place our 3 double crochet. That's an easy turnaround. What do you think? Now, as we look at our pattern here, can you see the pattern starting to emerge? You're going to start seeing it more now. So we did our 3 double crochet. We're going to skip 2 and into that third double crochet, front post single crochet. So as you can see, we do have a 1 row repeat on our pattern here. Here's our chain 3 in the back, double crochet 3 times. And then on to our front post single crochet, and we will repeat this all the way around. Now I hope you understand how to do the end of the row change. We're going to do this till we have a total of about 5 inches of the pattern from here to here. This will be, let me get my styrofoam mannequin here. Okay, this will be, oops, let me pull it back. This will be the top section of our head here before it starts to crown in. So we want a straight section, and then we're going to start reducing our rows. So you want to measure it so that it comes up to where it starts to curve on your head. And that's what we're going to do here. So continue this until this measures about 5 inches. Let me get you back in camera range here. So that'll probably be about 5 or 6 rows, maybe 7. So go ahead and do that, and then I will meet you when we start our decreasing to finish our hat off. If you have concerns about starting and stopping, I'll put a link into the video that'll show you where to go back so that you can start checking the finishing of row 2. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Please be sure to get up and stretch your legs, get something to drink, and maybe watch some YouTube music videos or catch up on the news. Till then, I'll see you in a few minutes. So here I've already started my next row, but I wanted to show you from here to here I completed 9 rows. This will fit my head the way I wanted because I will fold mine up like this. So to count the rows, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and here's number 9. So I will begin row number 10, starting the same way we did, but this time we're only placing 2 double crochets on the chain 3. Then we'll go across and do our front post single crochet, and the same process, except we will add 2 double crochets. It will help thin out the bulk as we get closer to the top. Do this for 2 rows, and then the next row will only have 1 double crochet. So do this for 2 rows, the 2 double crochets, and do 1 double crochet for 1 row, and then we'll see what we need to do to finish our hat. All right, as I pointed out in the notes of when I told you to do 2 for 2 rows and then 1 for 1 row, I found that I needed more. So I did a total of 6 rows, as I pointed out before you saw this part here. So I did 6 rows. I did the 1 row of 1 double crochet and the single crochet into the second double crochet. So I'm going to show you how to do this last row, and this will be our completion row. So we moved up, we did the 1. Now we're just going to do the front post single crochet into the 1, chain 3, and do the 1 double crochet into the chain 3, and then front post single crochet into the 1 double crochet. So continue that all the way around, and we have 1 more row to do after this, and then we can wear our hat. So at the end of the row I did the single crochet, the front post single crochet, chain 3, and slip stitched here. I wanted to show you, you see how small the circle is now compared to what we have down here at the bottom. So for our very last row, we're going to start off with a chain 3, and into our, let's see, we're not going to turn, so into our first, right here, single crochet, we'll do a front post double crochet. Okay, chain 3, actually chain 2, and then around that front post single crochet, do a front post double crochet, and then chain 2. And we're going to continue this all the way around. We should have 18 scallops. That's how many I have with the chain of 72 that I started at the beginning. Okay, I have a few more to go. I'll meet you at the end of this row, and then I'll show you how to cinch it closed. So I'm back at the beginning of the row. I chained 2, so I'm going to slip stitch into that chain 3 at the beginning, and then I'm going to leave myself some extra yarn. Let's see, probably about 18 inches. I want to make sure we have enough. And then let's pull it through. Finish off that last stitch. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We have a nice little hole right here, but we'll close that up, and then we have our part that'll go over our head. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my tapestry needle and thread my needle, and then through the openings I'm going to go over and under that last row of front post double crochets. So we'll have kind of like a giant running stitch here. Okay, so we got to go over that one, under, over, under. Now if you choose to put a pom-pom on yours for that decorative look, I encourage you to do that. I am choosing not to do that for mine. Okay, so here we are at the beginning. Now you can go ahead and pull it tight. And then once you pull it tight, pinch it down, and then go back so you can lock that. There we go. And that'll hold it in. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle and push it into the center and turn the hat inside out. And then, well, it fell back through. And then what I'm going to do is to crisscross over the top to help reinforce what we did when we cinched it tight. And that'll help put less of a strain on that yarn. I plan to wear this with my hoodie sweatshirt, and with the scarf that I made, this will be a nice little touch for my outfit that I wear in the winter time. So here, let's finish this off. I'll do that one more time. Okay, and then I'll take this beginning one and weave that in. So let's push it back out. And here we have us a nice three-dimensional hat. Let me show you the scarf that I have to go with it. So, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy this hat. You'll feel how thick it is, so it's probably going to be pretty warm. So, my name is Garnet. I enjoy doing crocheted items. Come back for more. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.